Hey guys, welcome to this channel. In this video, we're going to be looking at differences between B2B and B2C product management. We're going to be looking at what each of this is. Then we're going to look at differences, some commonalities between both of these product roles, and finally also have a good discussion onto which one may be the right role for you to go in, right? With that in mind, so let's get started. Before I jump into the video itself, if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing to the channel for the top product management content and tips. I'm also very active across social media channels like Instagram. So if you have a question, feel free to drop me a DM and I'll kind of get back to you on the question itself. That in mind, let's get started. Let's first discuss B2B product management. So B2B product management is a practice where a business is trying to sell services to another business and not the end users. When I say businesses, let's assume a company like say Stripe trying to sell their APIs or products to a company like say Google, who may or may not sell these services further to their end users. But the idea is these B2B companies focus on either big enterprises or to sell them products, services across departments like marketing, technology, human resources, etc., etc. In these type of companies, product managers primarily focus on the market than the users to build the product roadmap. They work with a variety of stakeholders across the organization or the customer organization to understand their needs and bring new products and features out there. That in mind, let's jump to B2C product management. B2C product management is when a business is directly selling to customers. These could be physical products or also mobile apps like Amazon. In these type of companies, the product manager is very clearly focused on the end users and their behavior, and the user experience is extremely important for a B2C product manager. This user experience also leaves the pathway for all the experiments, initiatives that a product manager takes on the product itself. The roadmap itself for a B2C product manager is derived from various experiments on the product and the initiatives that a product manager would want to take in the future. Even a small change to a B2C product can result in a huge UX behavior change for the end user. So it's really important from a B2C perspective that things are well tested before they are taken live to the end user per se. So on a high level, if I look at the core difference for both of these roles is for B2B product managers, customers and market is paramount, while for the B2C product, the end users who are using the product are important. It's not like the users are not important for B2B product, but for the B2C product manager, it's like a bread and butter, right? From that. So it's a much intense role from that perspective. That in mind, let's look at the similarities between B2B and B2C product manager. So while the users or the customers for both of these type of product roles are different, both of these product managers look at market research, they build product roadmaps, they look at go-to-market strategy, they also look at product market fit from that perspective. So these are the responsibilities that don't change regardless of if you go to a B2B role or a B2C role. There are certain hygiene things that also don't change, like communicating with engineering, product strategy, sales, etc., etc. So what are the things that are different between a B2B and B2C product managers? So the number one difference between B2B and B2C product managers is going to be the user. First, the quantity of the users is going to be different. B2B product manager is going to be having very few users, while B2C product manager is going to be having thousands or even million users from that perspective. Plus, the person using the product on the B2B side is maybe different than the person who actually bought the product. While on the B2C side, it's going to be the same person who bought the product. The second difference is going to be the sales itself. So in a typical B2C setting, a salesperson won't actively reach out to users to try and sell the product, right? So from that perspective, the roadmap itself is heavily influenced by the data that you're getting from the end user. While on the B2B side, because a salesperson is very actively working with this customer, the roadmap is going to be influenced by this salesperson, and the focus is also going to be more from the customer satisfaction perspective. The sales cycle too is going to be longer for the B2B product managers because there's going to be multiple blockers or requests that you need to meet before you kind of make your sale to a larger organization when compared to say a B2C product. So the third difference between B2B and B2C product management is going to be the UX. For B2B product managers, integration is important, right? The persona that's trying to integrate your product, say into some other product line, is going to look for avenues like APIs and SDKs to ensure that the integration seems seamless. So merely connecting their internal tools with say your tool in order to improve the efficiency of internal tool. While for B2C product manager, UX is going to be paramount from the perspective of the usability. The user should have great experience with using the product. At any point, if there is an interruption or if there is a better product out there in the market, you can easily use that customer. While on the B2B side, removing the integration and reintegrating something else is going to be really hard. So switching costs are hard on B2B sides versus the B2C side. Number 4 is going to be product releases. A B2B product manager will make very few releases because the roadmap wouldn't contain too many experiments. So maybe 5 or 10 releases at max in a specific sprint, which is a month long. While a B2C product manager will be making new multiple releases every week because running experiments, understanding what the users want, where the user journey is failing, very constantly iterating based on the user journey itself. Number 5 is going to be the customer research. For B2B product managers, since they're involved in most of the product demos and sales calls, it's easy for them to kind of understand what the customer wants and iterate or build product based on the needs and requirements. While for a B2C product manager, data is everything. So unless they look at data, try to build experiments and build hypotheses to kind of test those experiments, it's going to be very hard for them to kind of directly speak to the end customers. Let's move on to number 6, which is the industry experience. A B2B product manager may require a decent amount of industry experience. So for example, if you're going to a company like Stripe, you need some fintech experience to understand how the industry performs, the regulatory hurdles, kind of users, the motivation of the users, the pain points of the users, etc. If you don't have understanding about these pain points and the issues, it'll be very hard for you to build a product and secondly pitch a product to someone who's not heard about your product. So industry experience is extremely important for B2B product managers. While for B2C product manager, it is important to have some experience, but it's not a mandatory bar to cross compared to when it comes to, say, a B2B product manager. Number 7, finally, the metrics and customer experience. Metrics involving cost savings. In B2B product management, you wouldn't see too many people using your product. What is important is the amount of revenue that you're able to make from one customer and then continue to kind of get that revenue from the same user. And you're also kind of more customer centric from that perspective, where when you're speaking to your customers, you also act like someone who's, say, a customer success manager, where you want to ensure that they're having a great experience using the product and that you're able to kind of also look at customer tickets on a daily basis to understand problems your customers are facing. On a B2C side of things though, the metrics are very different. So the number of users coming in, the ticket size is going to be small. Because you're not directly interacting with the customer, you need to show that customer centric side of things in your product per se. So communicating things as a part of notification, ensuring that you give them the customized experience while they are using the product. So these are 7 core differences between B2B and B2C product management. Now, which one is right role for you? So if you like speaking to customers, if you have a decent amount of industry experience and are great at customer support, then B2B product management is the way for you to go. However, if you are adventurous, you like intensity, love doing A/B testing, you're great at data, then B2C product management is the direction that you should be looking at. So these are the key differences that I kind of wanted to discuss with you. Also, another product management category called B2B2C, and I'm going to be discussing that in the upcoming videos. But I hope this video was able to add the value that you were looking for. If yes, consider subscribing to the channel, drop a like on this video, and I'll see you in the next one.